Welcome to the stream. Welcome to the stream. Thank you for joining me today. So today we're just going to be doing a little bit of Windows game testing, and very excited to get this game working. This is a new RPG that's come out today, and it's got kind of a lot of critical hype, and managed to get it sort of booted up on CrossOver. So we're going to be doing a little bit of Windows games testing on the Mac today. So we're going to be covering this game, Clair Obscur Expedition 33. We'll be looking at some of the new F16C BMI enabled games from the latest update for macOS Sequoia. Thank you, that's where welcome to the stream. Thank you for joining me. And I also want to look at a game called Blueprints, and also look at a couple of things through in CrossOver Preview. So CrossOver Preview released just as I was leaving to go on holiday earlier in April. And yeah, so just want to demonstrate some of these games working. So this is a brand new game. Clair Obscur came out about an hour and 10 minutes ago. And one interesting thing is that it won't boot, well, didn't mean to press that. It won't boot normally through D3D Metal. So what I've done is I've enabled DXMT, and then there's also like some library overrides I've done because it really wants like the VC redistributables working. So I did what JFission recommends to do, which is to basically enable the overrides for VC runtime 140, 141, and then there's, let me just get my list out, where is it? Then it's MSVCP, so let me just find that. MSVCP 140, 141, and 142. And once you enable those particular overrides, then the game will complain a lot less when trying to boot it up. And I tried to get this working through DirectX 12 mode, but yeah, it really didn't like that. It would crash on the save on progress. But I managed to basically boot this through DXMT. So DXMT is the DirectX to Metal translation layer, the open source one made by 3Chain. And there are graphical issues with this. It is also running DirectX 11 mode, which I didn't even realize was a thing. I just tried this, just gave it a quick go on here, and enabled the boot flag for DX11, which is just a guess really. Some of these Unreal Engine 5 games, they have this kind of ability to boot into earlier versions of DirectX, and it looks kind of terrible. I mean, I'm not going to lie, it looks total crap, right? And this looks, I mean, in terms of actually being able to enjoy this game properly, you probably don't want to be playing it like this. That's exactly correct. That's where it looks unplayable. Frame rate is also not particularly fantastic, but it is exciting that it's working, right? It's of course not designed to work on a Mac. People have gone it worked quite well on Steam Deck, so that's another one compatibility layer. Turn this on to low. We'll see how this goes. I mean, it's always a bit risky trying to figure out how to get games running on a Mac, especially when no one else has done this yet, because this game's only been out for like an hour. I haven't even done an update for CrossOver yet. So there's CrossOver. Let me see, CrossOver 25.01 has just been released. I still haven't updated yet. That's probably not going to change anything, because I think the main thing is this EA update, because EA launcher crashed. But and also this version of DXMT hasn't been updated yet, so we're still on a kind of an older version of DXMT. So what I might do is I have the CrossOver preview, which has the newer version of DXMT. I might give that a go running this game a little bit later. Yeah, so Chris MacZ, thanks for joining us. Yeah, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth is playable. We're using the latest version of macOS Sequoia, plus CrossOver Preview. So we're going to give that a little bit of a go today as well. So okay, anyway, 1600 by 900p. I just give this a test for like 10 minutes, and then I'll just try. I'll load up CrossOver Preview and get that running. But I mean, in principle, it's working. Although I'm assuming this is not like an art style. This is that's like a vertex explosion. Shouldn't look like that. DualSense controls working.
Come on, you're not going to forget your flower here, are you?
Thanks, Ghost K Web. Thanks for joining us today on the stream. good day so far. I feel a bit more refreshed. I've been having major jet lag lately. So coming back from Asia is always like a bit tricky.
You're not going to make a big impression on Sophie if you forget your flower.
As far as I can tell, this game looks incredible. Like from what I've heard about it. I can buy a flower. So I might like give this a proper go later. Flower for Sophie. Okay. Oblivion Remaster. Yeah, of course. I did the live stream on that on Tuesday. Today is Thursday, right? Yeah. So I've already covered that. I made a tutorial video yesterday about how to get it installed and running on a Mac. Nothing particularly special. CrossOver is just doing all the heavy lifting there. I'm using the Mythic Launcher to play and it's working pretty well. Okay, good. Mythic Launcher, wine packages, with whiskey wine. The D3D Metal's done most of the heavy lifting on the Oblivion Remaster. Personally, I'm not that excited about playing another Elder Scrolls game, even though it is Oblivion. I want to play this game. I want to play this game on my PC if I can't get this working properly.
I sort of borrowed the hooks from the Expedition Academy. Wish I had them when I was working as a courier.
I think that playing it like this is probably not ideal. What I might do is try to run this using CrossOver Preview. So we're going to do some CrossOver Preview testing. So you can see the ground's not even rendered correctly. DXMT is not really, it's primarily the work of one guy, 3Shane. And so, the fact that this boots at all is quite amazing, quite incredible. So what I'm going to do is basically, this is unplayable. The floor, it's not rendering. Yeah. So so that's my experimentation with this. What I'm going to do is just show you. D3D Metal goes K-Web. That's right. It won't boot. So I just show you what happens when I try to boot it. So I've got the wine config to do those overrides, which I talked about earlier. And then what I'm going to do now is set this to D3D Metal. I won't have MSync on. Let me just restart CrossOver. Just give this another go. So when I try to run it through D3D Metal, we have issues. So I'll try it on DirectX 11 mode, which is what I tried earlier. Why am I not an Elder Scrolls fan? I do like Elder Scrolls games, but I'm kind of a bit tired of them. I mean, I played Oblivion before, so it's like I don't feel a strong need to like experience that again. Even though the graphics look incredible, it feels like a very different game. But on the inside, I know that it's still the same game, so I'm not too bothered about it. Okay, so Clair. Okay, so we have the DirectX 11 flag turned on. So just show you that this is not working through DirectX 11. So what will happen is that it'll launch. Now that I've got those VC redistributables up and running, it'll boot up. Like if you don't have those things running, it will boot up. Yeah, so it'll come to this. We're in windowed mode at the moment, so we'll come to this, and then it'll say it's going to do like a benchmark or something, and then it's going to like crash, basically crash the desktop. So we have our benchmark, it says here, then save in progress. Yeah, then it's straight to crash, right? So we can try this with DX12 mode. So that'll give us a different entry on the metal hard. So it does load. Yeah, good morning UK. Welcome to the stream. It's always a bit risky streaming at this time of day because most Americans, which is like the biggest audience, English-speaking audience, basically all asleep right now. So it's like 1 a.m. on the West Coast, 3 a.m. on the East Coast. So it's never get a good audience, but unfortunately it's the best time for me because it's after the school drop off for the kids. Got pretty much uninterrupted time. I could do it in the evening, but it's a bit of a sacrifice. I get more tired as well. Is a problem trying to activate Steam Overlay? It should launch. Could disable the Steam Overlay, but Steam Overlay doesn't work on D3D Metal anyway, so yeah. So Ambro Play Games, what do you mean it's a problem trying to activate Steam Overlay? It should launch. I could disable the Steam Overlay. Because enable the Steam Overlay. I could disable Steam Overlay. But you see, the Steam Overlay doesn't actually operate on D3D Metal games, so it shouldn't really make a difference. We'll see. Because if I can get it running through D3D Metal, that's way preferable compared to DXMT. Do you need to update to macOS 15.4? Yes. 15.4 will enable compatibility for several AVX required games. So all the F16C stuff, which I'm going to test a bit later today, it all requires the latest macOS. So definitely upgrade if you can. Let me see this thing about Clair Obscur. Clair Obscur Steam discussions overlay. Let's have a look at this. Community Hub, I always forget this. What's this about the overlay? I turned on the Steam overlay, it didn't crash. We were talking a couple of hours or so for fix to be worked out. Okay, maybe I'll try it a bit later. A hot fix, okay. Okay, sure. So maybe there'll be a hot fix. We could test this out. But anyway, in the meantime, let's try CrossOver Preview. Okay, and then with CrossOver Preview, we have some updates. I think I'll just check out the CrossOver Preview from April. Because that came out on the 4th of April, so someone always posts the where is it? Okay, well, I'm just gonna open up CrossOver Preview. It has like basic support for games like Final Fantasy 7 Rebirth, which I'm going to test now. There are graphical issues with that game, unfortunately, but we're going to give it a go. I just want to see it working, first of all, because it's just interesting to see. Yeah, The Last of Us 2 testing runs bad. I mean, to be honest, Last of Us 1 doesn't really work that well either. Let me just put this on my local drive. Okay, let's put this here, replace. We'll make a brand new bottle this time, okay? I don't want any kind of shenanigans happening with CrossOver. So of course, CrossOver Preview is available for everyone who is a current license holder for CrossOver Plus. And let's nuke the bottle. And then we'll try Clair Obscur again, because this basically has like a newer version of DXMT. So it means that it might run better. It certainly has several months of additional development behind its back. So we'll just install Steam through CrossOver Preview. Kind of get this working. Do you think upgrading from CrossOver 25 to Preview will have a noticeable performance uplift? Not really, no. Let me just find the thing. Let's crossover preview. What is with the new version? There's no patch notes online, but I know that there's an email, I think, or something like that. I'm just stick on my email. Crossover preview. What are the changes? I know that the F16C stuff and the Final Fantasy 7 stuff is better on crossover preview, so we'll try this anyway. Okay. This is VC redistributables, which are quite important for a lot of these games. And also what's required, I think it's going to be required for getting this, we need to do some overrides. Okay. So the M3 Max chipset gave less than 60 FPS at 1080p very low. So I'm not going to expect too much from The Last of Us. So I'm just happy knowing that it works. Right, the optimization and stuff could happen later. I'm okay with that. As we get into these more and more higher end titles, it gets, optimization obviously becomes important. I hope that these developers allow these things to cook a bit longer, they mature and develop. Stuff like Red Dead Redemption 2, we went from like 10 frames per second on an M3 Max to like nearly 60 plus on like the ultra settings. So I think that there's a lot of like optimization left on the table for sure. So I do think that it's quite exciting to see all of this stuff developing in real time. Crossover preview is really exciting. They've got all these developments in place. So this is the one from earlier in April, which I've not tested yet. But we're going to test out those 4 titles, I guess. I also want to play the Blueprints as well. So have you heard of the Blueprints? Blueprints is like one of these like roguelike puzzle games, is it? Roguelike elements. Some of my favorite games is the Outer Wilds, and people said this is similar to this. Yeah, low settings to ultra is character development for sure. In a relatively short span of time, you went from something like really using 1D3D to try and run the game at extremely low frame rates, always complaining about lack of video memory, and then to go from that to be able to run it, basically you could run it on an M1 MacBook Air. That's quite a substantial development. So I'm quite happy with that. Okay, what's going on here? Shouldn't take this long to open. Okay, let's get our graphics in motion. Okay, let's try this again. CrossOver is a finicky piece of software to use. I mean, I appreciate how well it works, but it is a finicky piece of work. It is like not that straightforward to use. Let's get this up. Okay, it didn't like my... It didn't like me logging in for some reason. Logging in with my phone. I now understand why it's difficult to get into FAANG companies. I mean, I think it's difficult to get into any company. I'm not really qualified to go to assess how any of this stuff works, really. Like the difficulty of getting games to run, developing big software projects. I've always mostly worked best on my own and not relied on large teams and things like that. So I don't really know how stuff works. How do people get things done, you know? Okay, so this is not going to work again, okay, because I haven't done the redistributables. I haven't done the overrides, so I don't think it's going to launch at all. But I'll just demonstrate that it's not working. I had to connect an external monitor to fix it so it didn't go above 982. I mean, with resolution, I mean, this is with all games, Mac games and crossover games. I do recommend using Switch Res X. So I've got multiple tutorials about that. That allows you to set a low, non-high DPI resolution that's at a specific aspect ratio. Right. And that fixes almost 99% of all resolution issues. So I do recommend doing that. Okay, so that's not working because we need to do our VCC redistributable fixes. So what I'm going to do is let's duplicate this. Steam. So this is another tip as well. Never install games within Steam. I want to do this overrides. It's going to be a clean way of applying this one configuration. I don't have to log in again because I don't want to. I'm just going to do do our overrides again just to get this launched. So this is a bit of game testing, okay? We're doing a bit of work on this. So we're going to override MSVCP 140, okay? 140, so we did add that. One and two. So there's those three things. And then we do VC runtime 140. Add that. And then the _1. So all those three things, 5 things. And then we'll try to launch it again. And we should get past that window thing. Yeah, Switch Res X is a fantastic tool. If you just type in Switch Res X, it's free as well. You'll find it Switch Res X. Lots of tutorial videos about this on getting this to work. So give this a go. You can set desktop resolutions. What I use to do this, all this stuff, almost all the recordings I've ever done, allows you to set custom desktop resolution. And life is easy. Life is easier. Not easy, but easier. That one big variable gets taken away, which is resolution. Okay, so we've done I'm using CrossOver Preview, and I've done the library overrides, so it should launch into a window, but it's still not going to work, I'm guessing. Then I'll switch to DXMT, see if we've got any graphical improvements there. Yeah. I mean, technically, I think CrossOver Preview should have the latest fixes. It doesn't require anything fancy in terms of getting the AVX requirements. So that's like one of the big innovations. Okay, so Metal HUD is going to show DirectX 12. It's got low frame rate. It's going to go through logos. It's going to do the mini benchmark. Then it's going to say save in progress, and it'll crash, I think. Then we'll run this with DXMT. Okay, that crashes. So what I'm going to do now is run this with DXMT. So we'll run DXMT. Let's quit out of Steam. Let's quit all applications, force quit. Let's load this up again. Okay, so once that's done, we're going to run, what are we doing? Clair Obscur. Let's run this with the DX11 launch option. Okay, so you know, at the end of the day, this might fix it. This might get hotfix later as well. So Who knows whether this will work better later. The devs say that they'll release a hotfix in the next 2 hours, so we'll see that. DX70 works for DirectX 11 games only, yes. DirectX 11 only. Who knows whether they'll expand later. Yeah, I tried playing Silent Hill 2 Remake with DX70, but it kept on crashing. Yeah. Might expect that. I think that's more of a DirectX 12 game, isn't it? Okay, so this is the new version of DXMT. We've got slightly more information here, which is a feature of the newer version of DXMT. You can also install DXMT via CX Patcher as well, so that's an option. So I'm going to get past this save and progress issue. Yeah, going past this issue. Let's change some settings. Let's not do epic. Let's just go all low. And let's go to windowed mode to make it a bit easier. Let me know if the sound is too loud, okay. Oh, okay, it's remembered my inversion. Okay, let's try this. Yeah, I believe this is DXMT 0.4.1. It'd be really helpful if there was a version number on there. But it just says DXMT D2D 11, feature level 11.1. Is that right? And maybe that does say a version at the end. That's that hex string at the end. We'll see. Sound is fine. Okay, well, the reported frame rate is way better, but it's more stuttery. The new version of DXMT has like a shader cache, so it might get better later. Well, this frame rate is like so much better. My God. Okay, so DXMT hugely improved, but obviously major graphical issues. Let's pick up the flower. Did I pick up my flower already?
All right, let's go. I'll accompany you there.
Let's see if that thing is still invisible floor. Yeah. Hopefully get an improved rendition of Vulkan. I mean, Vulkan for Mac is not really happening. I mean, it'd be really nice if it does happen, but I honestly think it's never going to happen. It's too ideologically opposed to what Apple does, which is like disappointing, but it's like a reality. I mean, I remember Nat Bro saying it's like third rail stuff. Means basically impossible.
I sort of borrowed the hooks from the Expedition Academy. Wish I had them when I was working.
So, floor not rendering. I'm sure that if I reported this to 3Shane, that he would just figure it out. Like, this is like not necessarily that complicated. But I can't believe their performance is so much better between these two versions. Like a huge amount of work has happened. It's more than like double the frame rate of what I had before. It's pretty incredible if you think about it. I mean, if we didn't have D3D Metal, then this DXMT would be like a whole entire new kind of it'll be hailed as the way forward. But the way things are. Okay, good. So yeah, that's very interesting to see that this is working. I look forward to seeing what the hotfix does, what D3D Metal does. That's cut out. Okay, it's not working. Try turning off TSR. Okay, we can try turning off TSR before I quit. Why can I turn TSR off? If it's at 100%, what does that mean? Still have shadow issues. I mean, this is that before was at 50% render scale. I'm pretty sure that's like a vertex. It's called a vertex explosion, and then some stuff doesn't render. I'm sure this is very fixable. Subsurface scattering, similar issue to what I saw on Dragon Age Veilguard as well. Turn up the shadows. That's an idea. Turn up the shadows. Normally you want to turn them down. But I suppose turning up the shadows... If I just put this preset to like high... Yeah. Okay, well that's where we're at. Okay, cool. So let's test out some other games, okay? So the next game we're going to test out is going to have issues graphically as well. So we're not going to have that much. If you want pretty gameplay, this is not the place to come for it, I'm afraid. Okay, so we're going to load up my regular non-override Steam. Oh yeah, before we do that actually, I think what I need to do as well is I need to run the Steam with options. Okay, so we run it with options, and then we make sure we have advertise AVX capabilities turned on, and then everything that's going to launch through Steam is going to be AVX'd up, F16 seed up to the brim. Of course, we can also add this environmental variable as a bottle configuration as well. I wish that they made it easier to apply bottle settings, because you can do it here, I think. Add the AVX thing, but then you wouldn't have to mess with that. Or we'll just make it as a default, because I don't really see why you wouldn't want to advertise AVX. Okay, Final Fantasy Rebirth. Okay, so I have yet to finish the first game. D3D, okay, running this through D3D Metal and MSync. I haven't even finished the first part of the remake, even though the original Final Fantasy VII was one of my favorite games. I just never got around to it. So you had a similar issue with ROTL. What's that? What's ROTL? And you're turning off subsurface scattering fixer. I didn't see an option with subsurface scattering, but the main issue is really the terrain rendering. Be really interesting to see what 3Shane could do with that. I think I might report this to the DXMT Hacker Club, which is their Discord server. Okay, so let's launch this. So, okay, Rise of the Tomb Raider. Of course, that has a native port, but you might want to play the Windows version of that game, especially if you have it on the Epic Games Store. It's only, the Mac version is only on Steam, so it's one of those weird licensing things. Okay, let's go. So yeah, I remember seeing video footage of this on the Mac Gaming subreddit, and I think there were like plenty of graphical issues, even though the frame rate was looking okay. So there were a lot of texture glitches and got fixed with that setting being turned off. I don't think we have that setting on Clair Obscur, but because it is an Unreal Engine 5 game, maybe there's a setting there. So let's have a look quickly. While we're waiting for that, we have, let me see, where's the Clair Obscur save games? Config file save. Clair? Be interesting to see if anyone's actually posted this up yet. Clair Obscur. Has anyone done it yet? No one's put the Sandfall is what it's called. Sandfall. Can't see the save game file exactly. Local app data. Oh, okay, it'll be within the bottle then. Let me just check the bottle. Let me check this bottle. So we've got our... This is a tricky thing with some places where they place the files. So let me see, app data, sandfall, local sandfall. Okay. See, this is what the save games are. I wouldn't see the configs. When this is standard Unreal Engine 5 stuff. Is there a place to change subsurface scattering? Let me just make this bigger. Shadow quality. We put our shadow quality up. There doesn't seem to be a specific option for subsurface scattering. If you can tell me where that is, then let me know. I'm using an M3 Max computer. Let's give this a bit of time. Has anyone done much work on FF7 Rebirth? Because I've never actually tried it yet. This will be the first time I've tried it, properly. Or while I'm waiting for that, I'm just gonna check my email. Because I remember seeing, where is the, let me see. Is there an actual thing? Is there like a blog entry telling us what's going on with CrossOver preview? Because I did read something about it. The blog. Whiskey. Where is it? Where's the information about CrossOver preview? Let's see. Maybe there's something in the forum. Announcements. Here we are. Announcements. So we have a new version of Wine, DXMT 0.41. Okay, so this should work. Okay, let's just close this and then start this up again. So I'm pretty sure I'm using the correct version of CrossOver and the correct version of this game. I'm on the correct version of macOS. Regarding Spider-Man 2, why do you think animations glitch out so badly? It's because animations are tied to a specific CPU thing. I'm not sure if that's fixed yet, so I could give Spider-Man 2 a go today. Okay, what's happening here? Do you know if the Rosetta bug has been fixed for Overwatch in the CrossOver preview? I mean, I don't know yet. Yeah, I'm sure if people have figured it out, then we would have known about it, because I don't have time to test every tiny little thing out. Okay, so Rebirth, come on. I wonder what's causing this issue. So we've got MSync turned on. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth now works on macOS only with preview. There are some graphical issues. So we are using the correct version of macOS. We're on 15.4.1, which is 1.1 out from this one. See, can't hear any audio issues. I'm not using auto, so it didn't specify exactly that I should be using D3D Metal. So I could just try. I could try without. I could try auto, because it's kind of what they want you to do. And then I'll run with options with the AVX thing. The animations work perfectly. So Spider-Man 2 is working. I might test that out today then, because I just need to buy Spider-Man 2. What I'll do now. Spite. Okay, let's try. Okay, let's try this again. Rebirth. Okay, so Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. Let's see how that's going. I'm just going to make a purchase of Spider-Man 2 so that we can test this out again today. Tested out before with the animations all balked. Just going to make sure I refund these games because £50 for a game, oof, that's a killer. And I've already played a bit of it too, so I'm within that 2-hour limit, time limit. Can't see the shadows. Oh, Mac Pro Tips videos. Let's have a look. Mac Pro Tips. Did he have a video for... Some of those animations don't look so good. That looks better. See, that's still broken. Yeah, it's only not broken sometimes when you switch suits, so I'm not sure that's going to help that much. Yeah, it's still broken. You know, we're still in early days of this, you know. If anyone knows like what the trick is to get Final Fantasy VII Rebirth working on the Mac, then let me know, because I don't see it, to be honest. Tips. I'll just do a search on the app. I'll just do a search on the Apple Gaming Wiki Discord, because that can be quite helpful to see. Rebirth is the game. Okay, so in the Mac Gaming subreddit, saying that yeah, it needs to be with default synchronization. So I just found it just now. So this guy created, I think, okay, no, I'm not looking at his account, but he's basically saying that you need to have no M-Sync turned on. So let's try that default. It's going on auto and default, so let's go. First, hi from my new MacBook, happy day. Congrats on the new MacBook, Bog Fast, not safe for MW. Which Mac did you get? Okay, so to make sure that we don't have synchronization turned on, I think it might be better for us just to completely quit out of CrossOver Preview, and we'll just load it up again. That will guarantee that we're in the correct synchronization for this particular game. Let's make sure we quit out completely. So quit all applications, force quit. Here, run with options, advertise AVX, run. Okay, so let's try it again. Okay, so we're just on auto and default. Yeah, this guy. Synchronize. I tried all the graphics settings. That only seems to work with default sync. You can manually toggle to D3D Metal again with some control while it works great on auto, even though it seems to be using D3D Metal anyway. Be advised the game tons of light and graphics issues. Okay. Oh yes, we're in. Woohoo. Shader compilation. Okay, let's do the shader compilation because we don't want. Played for 11 minutes. Okay, good. Okay, so you bought an M4 Max 64GB nano texture. Congratulations. How much did you spend on that? That's like $4,000, right? Very, 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 very expensive Mac. So you're playing Need for Speed Most Wanted. So that's, you like that game so much that you put it in your username. So your username is Bog Fast. It kind of looks for not safe for work, but yeah. 5,360 euros. Oof, you could have bought a lot of game console stroke PC with that kind of money. I hope you're using it to make some real money in life, you know, because that is a lot of money to spend. I hope you're insuring that because that's a lot of money. Mine's insured, so if I drop it or something, then at least I'll get my money back. That's the important thing. Oof, that's a lot of money to spend. Okay, so we're going to do Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. I guess the next one I'm going to do is Last of Us Part 2. And then yeah. I want to try the blueprints as well. Blueprints. So expectations need to be quite low because the user who posted about this before, major graphical issues here, things flickering in and out of existence. And there's no, I don't think there's a DirectX. Okay, so graphics. Graphics quality medium. Okay, medium. Hey Andrew, I want to play the latest story mode games like AC Shadows, Last of Us, etc. But I have an M1 Mac. Which games to play? I think Assassin's Creed Shadows is probably the best option because it's a native game. You don't have to buy CrossOver. There's lots of single-player games on Steam that you can try, which don't require loads and loads of extra stuff. Lots of story games out there. Okay, let's skip this. Let's get into real gameplay because some of these are like cutscenes. I'm not sure if they're rendered in real time or not. It's hard to know exactly, but I want to see the interactive stuff so we can see some like graphically different. I'm playing Zach. I think this can go to high. Let's go put this on to high. Can't change the graphics settings here. That's pretty good. I don't remember the story of this bit. So this is just like after Midgard, right? The thing is that the original game worked really well. We have graphical issues here already. You see this flashing, but in principle, this could be really good, like really, really good. Like 99% of this seems to render just fine. We are only going at 1080p, but it is like seems pretty good to me. I just turn the volume down a bit. I've already played. Of course, I played Final Fantasy VII, the original. I don't know the ending of Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, remake, Integrate, which I know that changed a lot of the lore of the way that this game's. Some shade, some stutter, but overall, you know, as a PlayStation 5 game running on a Mac, this is like pretty good. I do have VSync turned off, which is why it's going to look a bit different. Okay, you're going to be trying Doom the Dark Ages when it comes out. Yeah, I mean, that's not going to work because Vulkan requirements. Clair Obscur when? I already did Clair Obscur at the beginning of this stream, so you can just rewind it a bit to check that out. So Aerith hasn't died yet. Spoiler alert, I think. That's Red 13. Okay. Yeah, I kind of spoiled myself because this is. I still haven't finished the first one, even though it's been out on PC for like 3 years now. I do have it on my Steam Deck, so I probably should just go for it. Making games work in CrossOver gives the good feeling of making a party game work after installing 4 hours. Yeah, it is a bit like that. That's part of the fun of just getting things to work when they shouldn't work. I'm a wedding photographer and a content manager for an art gallery. Thanks for the nice words. Yeah, I hope it makes you money. I hope you must have a really what kind of photography workflow do you use? What software do you use to manage all your photo libraries? And what kind of content storage network do you use? Do you like a NAS? Do you have loads of solid-state drives? Do you use like Lightroom or something? Okay, let's skip this bit. Okay, let's see. Desktop.
Seeing as we've got time, want to tell the rest of us about you and your buddy Sephiroth? Sure.
Just get this over with. I just want to see the game running. Why am I playing as Sephiroth? Okay, now we're at a much lower frame rate, so we're like 67, so maybe medium 1080p is the way to go for this game. I'm impressed this manages to work pretty well. I mean, I'm sure that these minor graphical issues could be fixed if Apple got involved and updated D3D Metal. Just skip this. Speaking of pirated games, do you think the pirated version of Forza Horizon 5 will work since it won't need a Microsoft Store? I mean, possibly, yeah. The Microsoft rendering of the the login window is probably the biggest endgame boss for Wine. It's very difficult. There's always been issues getting it to work properly. Feels wrong to play this game here. Like I've already. Okay, so I can see this. You've put the camera angle just at the right place. I wonder what that is. You know, stuff flickering in and out of existence. because it's in the way. Can't move through it. Is this Nibelheim? Yeah, flickering. Flickering is quite intense here. So, you know, other than that, it works very well. Shall I sacrifice 100 gigabytes of internet and test a pirated copy of Forza Horizon 5? I mean, if you could, that would be great. It's good information. Try it with CrossOver Preview with the AVX flag turned on. Then we'll have some real information. Remember, this game is part where you sit with Tifa and you have like a reminiscence of pre-Soldier times. So this is a classic. I remember when you played Final Fantasy VII, or installing it on PC. So I played Final Fantasy VII on PC, and then this was when you installed it, you had these kind of splash artworks, like wallpapers and stuff, that would kind of cycle through, and you install that and you wonder, like, what's going to happen later in the game? And this is one of the iconic scenes, right? I mean, so basically Final Fantasy VII Remake Integrate, right, is like perfect in the way that it runs on a Mac. And this is like really close to perfect. Like, the frame rate's good, action feels good. It's just this minor flickering issue. And I'm sure that Apple and Codeweavers are working behind the scenes, because, you know, other than that, this is like pretty incredible in terms of how this could work. Yeah, and that's how I usually play games I can't afford. Well, you can test the games. I mean, the DRM is also a major issue for wine-based games, for sure. Okay, good. Okay, so that's Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. That kind of works. What's the other game I was going to test? I was going to test something else which requires F16C. Last of Us, yeah, of course. Last of Us. Okay, so apparently we're not going to get good performance out of this, but we'll test it anyway. Capture One, DaVinci, Photoshop, starting to learn Nuke and image video AI generating. I only use external SSDs. I do all of the video, photo content, and art digitization. Yeah, solid state drives definitely the way to go. What kind of drive size do you use? And do you ever, would you ever considering getting a solid state drive NAS? Because that's like, if you get like a nice 10 gigabit connection, and then you get like a solid state drive NAS, then you could just store things without having to like worry about stuff. That's what I like to do. Okay, let's turn off scaling. FSR quality, let's put this onto like medium. Let's put this onto low, because apparently it's probably what we want to do. Low, FSR quality, 1080p. Let's go. Yeah, Capture One. Yeah, I've used that software before. So I used to do like Mac IT support. I supported a lot of different photographers over the years, helping up with their Mac computers. And yeah, Capture One I've used before. Yeah, if I was a photographer now and doing all the video editing now, I would bite the bullet and buy myself like one of those 12-bay solid state drive NASes. And use a 10 gigabit Ethernet connection and run it through there. What's going on here? Would I get into trouble for running pirated version of games? I wouldn't get in trouble if I just didn't say that it was pirated. What's happening here? Okay, so I'm gonna try this again. Let's see if it... Let me just check the subreddit. So some people are complaining about a complete freeze on gameplay for Last of Us Part 2. I'll just have a look at this subreddit. Okay, what I might do is, because it's not a supported game, we might manually enable D3D Metal, because I might be trying to do it, because the auto function here is not necessarily that helpful for games that Codeweavers haven't really tested. That's probably the issue that we're having here. Yeah, I'm not going to get into trouble. I mean, I do make plenty of game emulation videos too. And I've made, there was a period of time when GTA 5 would only work with I'm not going to say the word anymore, I'm just going to say DRM free, because that's the most neutral way of putting it. Okay, okay, so this should enable DirectX 12 D3D Metal mode, I think. That's going to be the most compatible, I think. Let's try this. Yeah, so there's a large period of time when GTA 5 would only work on the I'm going to call it DRM-free, non-Rockstar version of the game. Why is this crashing? Did I enable F16C when I enabled this? That's the issue as well. It's like all these different variables. Did I forget to do this? Because I probably did. Andrew, thanks for your work. Have you ever tested Mass Effect Legendary Edition on your channel? Yes, I have. Might do it again. Now that the EA launcher has been fixed again, then I might try it again. Okay, let's go. Getting controllers to work is a bit tricky. I've yet to find like a really reliable way of getting controllers to work. Okay, this is good news. So advertise AVX, you've got to do that. Got to enable D3D Metal, and you've got to, yeah. The one big issue I think with CrossOver preview right now is just they want you to use this auto mode. Oh, great. They want to use this auto mode, but they don't tell you which one they're actually launching the game with. Let me just check, are people using preview for this? Because I'm using CrossOver preview, so that might not be the way to go. What I might do is just run this without preview, just run the latest version of CrossOver 25. Let's try that. And let's just do an upgrade of CrossOver 25. Let's just uninstall update. Yes, and that's a good idea for backup of all projects, and I will probably do one, but I need like half a terabyte SSD at a time for editing. I guess I often work with video projects which span like multiple years. So that's why I like having editing from a NAS, and I also run my games from a NAS as well. No, I need to advertise AVX. I keep forgetting to do this. We need to advertise AVX capabilities and run. Okay. Yeah, so what support did I used to do? I used to like go to people's houses and then fix their Mac computers or something like that. Like I go to someone's house and then, you know, install a new version of Adobe Creative Cloud or something like that. So I did that a lot. And I got paid very well for it, but probably not as well as a wedding photographer. I mean, when I quit, which was like in 2021, 2020, I was doing like £100 an hour, which is like pretty good for what I was doing. I was quite happy with that because I could make like £1,000 a day or something like that. Ridiculous. And often, like, they'd give me the old Mac computers, which I would sell on eventually. What is going on here? People are able to get this working, right? Okay, if anyone's got any tips for getting Last of Us Part 2 running, then I would appreciate that. People have been having issues getting it working anyway, even with the game being run. Okay, let's update. How does Clair Obscur work on CrossOver? At the moment, it's not really working that well, so don't buy it now. But it could be fixed by a hotfix, which the developers say that they're going to implement today. So if I go to Clair Obscur, let's look at there's a crash. Yeah, so they're about to implement some kind of fix. Yeah, so that's when you run it through D3D Metal. It can run it through DXMT, especially through CrossOver Preview, and that launches and you can sort of play it, but a lot of the terrain doesn't load correctly. So don't necessarily recommend that. Okay, so F16C games, we have other games like Ghost of Tsushima, God of War Ragnarok. I think what I might do is just, I might try and run Ghost of Tsushima. I'm just going to update it on my end. So I have a version with the Vladimir Prog patch, but what I'm going to do is verify integrity of that. The Last of Us 2 only works with the preview version of CrossOver, tied to with MSync. That's what I did. Okay, I'll try it again actually. I'll try it again. Once this is fully updated, I'll try that again. I'm also doing a validation for Ghost of Tsushima, so we'll try that too. I do like Ghost of Tsushima, but it got kind of samey at the end of the day. I'm quite excited about playing this game. I might actually just buy it and then play it. It looks really good, and also Clair Obscur. I think it's getting good traction on Steam. Like it's got like this is okay, right? It's 20,000. I don't know why they launched at midnight. It's just kind of weird. I launched at 9 a.m. UK time, or 8 a.m. UK time, which is like the worst time to do anything on the internet, I think, because the majority of people are sleeping. The majority of the gaming audience, the English-speaking gaming audience, is all sleeping, so it seems like a bad time to launch something. I'm a big fan of like 6 p.m. or 8 p.m. launches UK time, so most of America is awake, and everyone who's like staying up can play it. Yeah, D3D Metal with MSync, and then advertise AVX as well. Okay, great. I will try it there once that's patched. Yeah, let's advertise AVX. I'm impressed that Final Fantasy 7 Rebirth works. I hope that in the next version of CrossOver Preview they manage to like fix that properly, because that would be quite exciting if that happened. Okay, let's quit out. Let's go back into CrossOver Preview, because I think that's where the magic of the AVX stuff is happening. Let's like try that one more time. Okay, so we'll quit out of this. Go back into CrossOver Preview. This is the correct version, 250404. Run Steam with edited metal M-Sync turned on, run with options, advertise AVX, run. Let's try it again. Okay, I've been running Last of Us 2 on CrossOver 25, not preview, and it's been running absolutely fine. M3 Max D3 Developmental Anything. There does tend to be a memory crash if you play the game for a few hours at a time, and make sure Rosetta is updated as well. How do I update Rosetta? You shouldn't need to manually update Rosetta. Okay, I'll try with preview, and then and I'll try it again, and then we'll see if they're working. So, Ian Sebastian says that it should work fine on just plain CrossOver 25. Did I just try it with that? I think I did try it, and it was giving me crash. Last of Us Part 2 Remastered. Yeah, it's built in with macOS 15.4. I'm on 15.4.1, so it shouldn't be... There shouldn't be issues. This should just work, right? Bloody hell. Come on, guys. I'm not sure what's causing this issue. What I might do is maybe try different graphics setting, because I did tweak the graphics settings. Maybe I'll just put it onto default again. Maybe that's what's causing the problem. Change the adapter. Let's just reset everything. So it's on dynamic. So this is like default settings, so it should just work. CrossOver performance does seem to vary between devices. Everyone's been running Obsidian. Okay, I don't understand why that's not working. Okay, well, can't spend too long doing this. Let's see, has my Ghost of Tsushima validated? Yeah, it has. Okay, let's try Ghost of Tsushima. So I've just validated my Ghost of Tsushima Director's Cut. So I'm not using the Vladimir Prog patcher anymore. So that patched out the F16C instruction set, and then changed, I don't know what the magic that was implemented there, but changed some of the way that the animations were done. To see if this works. So another like Sony type game implementing these features, which is kind of like quite surprising because, why is Apple going around fixing games which it doesn't need to get fixing, you know? You know what I mean? Doesn't make a huge amount of sense. So it's quality high. I should be able to run this at 1080p quality mode high. That should be an option. Sucks that Last of Us 2 doesn't seem to work. I might try on a different computer later. Just need a bit of footage, that's all. I wonder what if altering the launcher was the problem in Last of Us 2 with default options. I did try launching with default options. So let's see if that's the problem. Okay, so this is a non-patch version of this game. Yeah, I tried running it through default settings, giving me the same error message, whether it's CrossOver Preview or CrossOver 25 latest version. So a bit annoying, but you know, this is still CrossOver Preview. I think people submitted footage of other games being running. Okay, shaded compilations, always a good idea. This game is gorgeous, you know. I think, to be honest, I should be able to run this on without any kind of upscaling, because this FSR is not required. And graphics on high, yeah, should be fine. How much less CPU do you think I get with a 14-core CPU? But basically, you need to look at, for game performance, generally speaking, is the number of GPU cores is like the most significant factor. So we have 40 GPU cores here, so you're looking at I've completely forgotten how to play this game. It's been over 2 months since I last loaded this up. So it's nice to see that Ghost of Tsushima does not require a patch anymore, strictly speaking.
Still.
Yeah, so if you've got 16 GPU cores, we're looking at like 1/3 the performance of this 40-core GPU, M3 Max, basically.
Hands as big as my head.
You're sure? Maybe they just seemed large. Or you suffered a blow to the head?
I didn't dream it up. You shot dead. They have a camp at the bridge over Hissing Creek. No one ever gets past it.
I don't need to get past.
I think arguably this game is better than Assassin's Creed Shadows. It fulfills a lot more of the dream of what an Assassin's Creed game is like, and better combat as well. And I find that even though this is like a PS4, PlayStation 4 level of game in terms of quality, I think that it's still it's more graphically interesting. I want to try to get some. Don't want to be here at night. I want to be some footage of the day because it looks better. The game looks better during the day. Yeah, Ghost of Yotai is coming too. Let's pray that Ghost of Yotai also works through CrossOver Preview. who knows? Because Final Fantasy VII, the first game worked really well, and it's only really Final Fantasy Rebirth which remains some issues still remain. That's the issue there. But this running this through CrossOver preview now, this is like basically like a native game, so you don't really need much more than this. Combat works well. I've played it for hours actually on the Mac so far. Haven't had significant issues. It's a beautiful game as well. This is like running it high at 1080p, no FSR. It's beautiful. Seems a PS5 exclusive. Yeah, one day it will come to PC, I guess. I'm so bad at this game. I can't remember how to play this at all. Remember that you have to change stances or something. Okay, so that's my Ghost of Tsushima test. Ghost of Tsushima could be 2 years away. Yeah, could be a long way away from actually coming to PC and coming to Mac in the future. Okay, Spider-Man. Spider-Man 2. Okay, so there's only really one more game I want to test apart from this, which is... Well, actually, wait, before we do that. Do I have Horizon? No, I need to purchase. I'm not purchasing that again, because I've played it for 105 minutes, which is just under the refund window. Okay, this, and I want to play Blueprints as well. Okay, so settings. I know that this is not going to be that good. Let's put this at medium. Medium, no FSR. Let's test out some of these graphical issues. Okay, I'm just going to pee. I'll be right back. Okay, so this hasn't loaded up yet for some reason. Still loading. Okay, I can see the progress bar on the bottom right. Yeah. Yeah, so Ghost of Yote could be 2 years away. But I feel like some of these ports have been coming out faster. So like Rebirth, right? The Rebirth came out on PC 3 months ago, but then it came out for real in February 2024. So it's not really that far apart. So that's 1 year. That's less than a year to go to Windows. So it could, you know, the timescales for this are not necessarily that bad. Let me see a lab video prog. Okay, let's see some Spider-Man 2 footage. Do you think we'll get the Mac port of Cyberpunk before the Switch 2 version that drops on June the 6th? I think the current prevailing theory is that since Cyberpunk hasn't come out yet, it might be a release for, let me see. When is WWDC this year? Has it been announced yet? Yeah, so WWDC is going to be June the 9th to the 13th. So not that far from now. God, it's really close, isn't it? WWDC is always a very exciting time. June the 9th to the 13th, so that's the week of that. The Switch version comes out on the 6th. You know, if it came out right before WWDC or at WWDC, that would be quite exciting, I think. And it would make sense. It would make a lot of sense. Okay. Yeah, I did test this out back in February at the time. Did Mac Pro Tips test this out?
If you had 2 cars or more.
Yeah, we did. Spider-Man 2, he did all this already. I love his outfits. This wasn't that long ago, so it's not really fixed. Imagine if we've got a revamped version of GPTK, one could only imagine. I mean, I'm expecting Game Porting Toolkit 3 to be released then as well. The thing is that I don't think that this is going to be very different, so what I might do is ask the community for some help putting this footage together. Because if I can't run this, then it's not the end of the world. I run something. I want to play the blueprints. Blueprints? Something's happening, but I don't know why it's taking so long. How hot does the MacBook get? The M4 Air. Well, I've done videos about thermal throttling. Each game is different, but we're running this on a MacBook Pro with the M3 Max chip. This has active cooling, and it's running at nearly 100 degrees, trying to get this thing up and running. It's still T-posing at the moment. So I'm not sure this is going to be that exciting because I've kind of already done this before. What I'm going to do is quit out of Spider-Man 2 and then... Yeah, I'm not sure I can't get that running right now. I think what I might do is try to put this on the local drive. I'll really run out of space though if I do that. Let me just check my storage. Yeah, I think I'll leave that for now. Okay, let's try. I'll get footage of that later. Okay. Well, I want to try the blueprints. I want to see if this works. So I am using CrossOver Preview, but let's give this a go. Okay, so DirectX 11 game. Let's try this one out. I'm not sure which one to play first, Blueprints or Clair Obscur. They both seem pretty interesting to me. Okay, this is pretty good. There's no graphics settings to speak of, but we've got 1080p. Okay, let's give this a go. I don't know much about this, except that it's meant to be really good. I wonder what the graphics, what if there's any graphics issues, because it's like a puzzle game, so it's quite important that graphics work correctly. I've almost no information. To Clair work on CrossOver, it boots through DXMT, through DirectX 11 mode. I kind of go through it in the beginning of the stream. Clair Obscur works. I reckon it might work better through the hotfix, which devs say they're going to implement really soon. I can't get Apple Silicon version of RPCS3 to work. My base M3. Keeps saying PS3 application is crashed. Possibly, yeah. You might want to... I do find as well the Intel version has better game compatibility. So it's about inheritance. Pretty interesting looking game. the room.
All staff and servants of the manor, but I am confident that any heir worthy of the Sinclair legacy should have no trouble uncovering its whereabouts.
So the name of this game is called the Blueprints, but obviously this is a pun on the word blueprints,
Fail to
I think.
uncover this room or provide proof of its discovery to the executors of my will, then this gift shall lapse. In witness whereof I have hereunto set my hand this 8th day of March, 1993. Herbert S. Sinclair.
Theoretically, we get games like Gears of War 5 running through DRM-free version, right? I mean, the base compatibility that we should look at is that if it works on a Steam Deck, then it should work on a CrossOver Mac. So does Gears of War 5 work on a Steam Deck? I mean, that's one big question. And then sometimes the DRM is the issue, sometimes it's the graphics API, the translation layer. I mean, it might help. I don't really know. Let's just change my control sensitivity. Welcome to Mount Holly. You may not remember, I have fond memories of your many visits here to on board. I hope these rooms provide you with amusement. By the time you read this, I will assume you're fully aware of my last wishes and all details of the request. Please do not mistake my intentions in giving you this challenge as a lack of confidence. I assure you nothing could have been further from. That's what chose you as my heir. With that said, there are a few ground rules for this commission covered in the fine print of my will. No tools or items may be brought onto the estate from outside. Tools and items found on the estate may not be taken off the estate. You may not stay overnight. I don't suspect that any of these stipulations should prove an impediment for someone as resourceful as yourself, but it is very important to me that you start fresh each morning and not rely on the successes of the previous day. One final word of advice, do not assume the rooms you find today will be the same rooms you find tomorrow. These grounds have provided me a home for the last half century, and even I am uncertain of which room lies beyond any particular door. Your grandmother used to say, don't go where the path leads, abandon the path and go where you want it to lead. The blueprints. Save as useful map, tab. So we have to construct a thing, a map. Okay. So there's doors here. There's things I can observe. There's a door here. There's a clock. Exhausting. Each time you enter a room, you will lose 1 steps. When you no longer have any steps left, you'll be too tired to continue. I must call it a day. Okay, so let's go through the front door. Let's see what happens. Oh, okay, I can get more steps. Let's go to bedroom. Let's pick a bedroom. Does anyone know, are there any improvements with the new CrossOver preview for Deadlock in terms of fixing stutterings? Haven't really tried it. Deadlock doesn't seem to be that popular anymore. So I've gained 2 steps. So I've gone into the room to lost 1, and then I've gained 1 now, so I'm at 51. So I can draft another room here. Closet. I can make 2 items here. Key. What's the other item? Sleep mask. First time you enter each bedroom with the sleep mask, gain 5 steps. Okay. So this room only has got 1 door, so I kind of closed this off, so I need to make another room. So if I go to the storeroom, I get plus key. Oh, this has another door as well, so I could do that. So I've made a closet. That's kind of a dead end, though. So I've made a parlor here. This statement appears on another box. The blue box is empty. There's another, this statement appears in another box. Dear Hebe, it was a great honor receiving the invitation to design your estate in the oldness of the past. There will always be at least one box which displays only true statements. There will always be at least one box which displays only false statements. Only one box has a prize within, the other two are always empty. So I could choose to open one of these boxes. Or not. Can't even open them. As far as I can see, there's no like graphical issues preventing me from playing the game, but I haven't really played this. I don't 100% know. So I pick up the key, and now I can choose which box to open. So it's one of these logic questions. There'll always be at least one box which displays only true statements. There'll always be one box that displays false statements. This statement appears on another box. That's true. This statement appears on another box, so that's true. So these are both true. This blue box is empty, so that's false. So it must be this one. Okay, I got that wrong. Oh, let me just figure that one out again. There will always be at least one box which displays only true statements. There will always be at least one box which displays only false statements. Only one box has a prize within. Okay, I don't know. I got that one wrong. Okay, I can make a den. A den has lots of... I get a gem. Okay, I think this is working, okay? I'm happy that this is functional as a game. So I'm going to stop playing this now. And I think my test is pretty conclusive on that. Are there any other F16C games I could spin up quickly, which I could try out? I've done Ghost of Tsushima. Let me just try Last of Us again, because it's a bit confounding why this ain't working. Because it's a bit of a mystery, this one. I've done FF7 Rebirth. I guess there's the two big ones, right? Rebirth. Because this metal HUD does come up, but it just gives a crash. What is that crash about? Because people are saying that this does work on CrossOver. I could try turning MSync off. Will that help? Okay, let's try this again. No bueno. I wonder what's wrong here. I might try this on a different computer a bit later. Need to just upgrade Mac OS. Oh, God. Just looking at this at the moment. Okay, I'll try Spider-Man again, and then see if I can get this to play, because I would like to. I would like to see this, some of the crazy stuff that happens in this game. Just pee again. I'll take a little leg break. Oh God. Well, I've done 6 kilometers so far. My legs are killing me. 6 kilometers of walking. Okay, right back. Oh, okay, it's working. Okay, the heads are not working. Okay. Let's go. So they tried Last of Us. Yeah, I can't get it to work for some reason. It keeps crashing at the main menu, so I don't know what's up. I don't know what's up with that. If anyone knows the reasoning behind that, then I'd love to know, because... Is the animations are still bad.
I know you're angry at me. This has nothing to do with you. Leave me alone. I want to help you.
So at least the cutscenes aren't are rendered correctly, you know. Are rendered in real time. That's how you know.
Guess he wasn't happy to reconnect.
Yeah, he's not really the nostalgic type. Not listening. We gotta turn it up a notch. How? He hates water. His shoulder's already wet.
Bet he's not a big fan of electricity then either.
Read my mind. Felt that all right. We need more water though.
I'll hit him with webs while I get Sparky.
I'll keep the water flowing in the meantime.
It's very funny. The animations are very funny. So, you know, they've enabled F16C, but they haven't really, like, I don't know
I can get up close now.
what patch do I need to get Last of Us Part 2 to work?
Somebody order some water.
What patch do I need?
Bang! Spider-Man, watch out! No, 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 no! You okay? I'm working on it.
What patch are we talking about here? Is this something I need to download?
Thought I lost you there. Can't get rid of me that easy. Time for Genki to work his magic. Genki, you there? Dude, this is nuts. I know, man. But listen, we need a big water source by Wall Street.
Well, let me check the grid. Stay safe, dude. You too, Mr. Parker. Will do. Wait, what? He knows?
Genki knows all. Plus, we were super weird in class earlier.
Knew I never should have taught it a gift at school.
Okay, so that's Spider-Man 2. It's crazy that it works. It loads, but clearly whatever changes have been made, that hasn't really done that much. The Last of Us Part 2 F16C patch. So, I mean, you shouldn't really need the patch in order. Kind of the whole point of this is that you don't need a patch to get Last of Us Part 2 working. But I could try this today because I don't understand why my version isn't working. Because I am using the correct Sequoia. This is the latest version. So yeah, I'll try the playground.ru patch. Google it, not yeah. I think I've got it. Yeah. It shouldn't require a patch in order to get this to work. Don't really want to load an exe file either. Is that? let's just extract this patch. I guess I could run the patch through CrossOver. It should be pretty benign. Fingers crossed. I just don't like the idea of running like some rando Russian patch on my computer. Oh, isn't this supposed to be... Okay, is this the actual game exe file that's been patched? Okay. Okay, in that case, it should be quite straightforward. I should just be able to go to my game thing. Oh yeah, it is exactly the same thing. So I've got to copy the exe file. So I actually have it in my imports folder, which is here. Okay, so I've got to copy this API.dll. And then I've got this okay, let's give that a go. So that should launch the new patched one. I've got the API.dll. Kind of the whole point of 15.4, of course, is that we don't have to do patches like this, but if it works, it works. I want to get some footage of it working. Let's just make sure that, because sometimes it might be that this is launching instead. Because the L version could be the one that's... Try that too. Should work, yeah. So the API.dll. The launcher, so there's a launcher file that should launch the. These are the new files which were created by the patch, which I downloaded from playground.ru. I think maybe something else is happening here. Something I can't see. So yeah, I'm not sure what the cause of that is. But anyway, we've got some pretty good, we've got some good footage at the moment. So we've got Final Fantasy VII Rebirth working, Spider-Man 2, and Ghost of Tsushima. So those are all the F16C games. Plus we've got some Clair Obscur and also Blueprints as well. So I covered quite a few games today, and so I'm quite happy with that. So anyway, that is my stream for the day. I'll have to test it out. Yeah, F4B developer ask away. This is going to be the last question. Can I increase game performance on my MacBook Pro M4 with a specific type of setting? I don't think so. Yeah, I do. I have that turned on because when I run Steam, I used Rosetta Advertise AVX equals 1, so I did do that already. When I launched Steam, I already did that. So what I could do is try to launch this separately. Do CrossOver? Can I do that? I'll add the AVX. I saw something. Try one more time. I use not licensed game. Okay, understood. This is the official version, so this is the first time I saw that patch mode window come up. Yeah, I think something else is happening which is causing this to crash. Maybe something specific to my setup on this computer, maybe something the way that I'm outputting to HDMI, could be something like that. So yeah, I'm not exactly sure what it is. Anyway, thank you very much for sticking with this 2-hour stream today. I'm going to put together a video on this later. Thank you for watching. I'm going to end the stream now. Goodbye, everyone. Bye-bye. Good night.